Our seventh contestant is Matt Muchna, from the Department of Sociology and Social Work. Dr. Kurus Mahmoudi is Matt's major professor. The title of Matt's 3MRP presentation is Segregation, Gentrification, and the Return of the Rio.
I grew up in the high desert of Arizona. Too much water is not usually an issue. However, globally, floods are the #1 cause of displacement from natural disasters every single year. And contrary to popular belief in Flagstaff, floods aren't far from home. Statistically, the Rio de Flag has experienced large-scale flooding every 5 years. The threat of a 100-year and 500-year flood are looming for one of Flagstaff's at-risk communities, the South Side. I became interested in the Rio in light of recent urban renewal. I asked myself, what does socially sustainable development look like? Who benefits? And who is at risk? I completed a stakeholder analysis to further understand the social implications of the Rio's management. Stakeholders are those who hold interest in power in the project. I accomplished this by critically examining documents for historical context and economical data. Through my research, I discovered that a social flood of inequality had already hit the South Side. In the early 1900s, the city moved the Rio de Flag. To prevent flooding in the historic downtown district, the Rio was redirected to the South Side neighborhood. Then, in 1983, FEMA declared the South Side a floodplain. This floodplain jurisdiction increased building regulations, lowered property values, and halted urban renewal for 3 decades. Who was affected? Spanish sheep herders, Asian business owners, and Latino and African American railroad and lumberyard workers who called the South Side home. The 1983 FEMA declaration is just one example of the difficulties faced in the segregated community. But there is a plan. The Army Corps of Engineers and the City of Flagstaff have proposed a $107 million Rio project to lift the floodplain as well as expedite the process of gentrification, which is the phenomenon of affluent whites moving into low-income ethnic areas. The city has yet to receive federal funding. The South Side remains in a floodplain today. Why does this matter? In order for the Flagstaff community to achieve sustainable development, we must recognize not only the economical and the environmental, but also the social factors. All stakeholders must be recognized. My research revealed 3 key things. First, that the City of Flagstaff holds the most power and interest in the project, therefore holds the key to the entire thing, and the most responsibility. Second, a lack of collaboration between local stakeholders has closed possible funding channels here in Flagstaff. And lastly, the minority voices of the Southside residents have not been heard in the Rio project. My research is important on both a local and global scale. As climate change continues to rise sea levels and increase weather severity, floods will become as household as a leaky faucet. I hope that my research will enable urban planners in Flagstaff and beyond to make decisions that are sustainable for all voices.